Welcome to Tech Topics. My name is Stephanie, and I'm an assistive technology and activity specialist with Future Insight. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, like this video, and check back frequently for more content. Today, we're going to talk about some navigation on websites using your iPhone and your low vision as well as Voiceover. So I am sharing my screen so you can see it with low vision, and I have Voiceover on so you can hear as we navigate together. All right, so we're going to discuss how to bring up a website, how to move among websites, how to use some special navigation with a rotor to quickly move among a website, how the websites can be displayed as accessible so that they can make sense with some formulas in methods of practice on how we navigate through it, and so on. So let's dig in. The first thing we want to talk about is how do you bring up a website? Well, you can certainly ask Siri, and you would say, Siri, go to futureinsight.org, right? Or go to theatlantic.com, or whatever your site might be. All right. And sometimes she will bring it right up. Sometimes she'll bring up some results. And if there are a series of results, you're going to touch the top left corner of your screen and flick to the right until you hear the one you want. The reason why it's nice to say .com when you're doing your search is to try to avoid it bringing up Facebook pages, Instagram pages, and stuff like that. You want to really hone in on the actual website. Okay? So that is always a plus. Once you find the website you want, you double tap on it, and then it will load up. The other way you could open a website is to tap on Safari. We're going to go with the web browser Safari since we're talking iOS and iPhones here today. Certainly you might have other web browsers, but this will be our method for these purposes. So you would tap on your Safari app or double tap with VoiceOver and it will open up. And then one of the nice things you'll find is you can find the website in the bottom middle. So if you aim for the very bottom middle of your phone.
Address, theatlantic.com, text field. Double tap to edit.
All right, you'll hear that address field. And you can even change it, okay? So if you wanted to change that address, say you have been perusing around on the Atlantic, and by the way, any of the websites I show you tonight are not necessarily the views of myself or Future Insight. They're just for demonstration purposes. All right, so theatlantic.com is up, but maybe I want to change addresses. So I've touched it, so what I heard is where I am. So now I can say, oh, it said to double tap to edit this website. So you can tap it with your vision or double tap with VoiceOver with one finger.
Address, text field, is editing. https://www.theatlantic.com selected. Character mode. Use the rotor to access misspelled words.
All right, that was a lot of info, but it brought up the whole entire website. All I have to do, at first I have to, remove this address. So the keyboard is up, and if I touch in the lower right corner,
Delete.
Slightly up a little,
Selection delete. Delete.
There's that delete button.
Delete.
And you notice I didn't have to press it for every letter, a character at a time to get rid of this address. Once I tapped on that, I got rid of the whole address pretty quickly. Now I need a new website to enter into here. So I will start typing NFB maybe.
Space N F F B B N H NFBNA NFBNH. Number. Space. Letters. space, question mark, X space, apostrophe, comma, period, letter, O, D, R, G.
Okay,
Homepage
I did.
vertical line National Federation. Go.
And now I typed in NFB of, NH, which is the National Federation of the Blind of New Hampshire, .org. And I'm going to then look for the Go button in the lower right corner.
Go.
And I'm going to double tap on that with my VoiceOver, because I'm using VoiceOver.
Skip. Web page loaded.
Okay, let's make sure we're there. Let's see what the web address says by touching the bottom middle.
We know that blindness address nfbnh.org text
All right.
field.
Very good. Now, let's explore the bottom menu. Remember, I said most websites in all of my videos. I typically say that most websites and apps have something going across the bottom. So the lower left, from left to right, we're going to explore what's here. I'll touch the lower left.
Back button.
And there's a back button. So if I tapped on that or double tap using VoiceOver, I would go back to the previous page or website. And that would be theatlantic.com in this case. But I'm going to flick to the right with one finger.
Page menu button.
And there's our page menu. That has some options we will explore in a minute.
Address, nfbnh.org, text field.
Okay, there's the address field.
Refresh button.
Here's a refresh button if we need to.
More button.
And in the lower right, we have the more button. Now inside there is where you can share a website, copy it, paste it, or you could also create an icon on your home screen, which there is another tutorial about that in the Tech Topics playlist to check out. So I hope you'll do that. So for now, I think we'll try out the back button.
Abby and Penny Duffy's Abby and Penn back button.
So I touch the lower left again, and after you can just tap that with your low vision, or if you have VoiceOver on, you're going to touch it, you hear it, and then that's what you want. So you double tap with one finger to execute it.
Back. Skip to content. In page link site navigation. Navigation. Landmark.
Okay. Now let's see what's at the bottom middle.
Page menu. Button. Advertisement. Advertise. Address. theatlantic.com. Text field.
All right. There's theatlantic.com. Now I want you to notice something. If I touch the lower left, that back area.
Back. Button.
All right. If I flick to the right once.
Forward. Button.
There's now a forward button. And if I hit the forward button, double tap on that or tap on it with low vision, I will go back forward over to the nfbnh.org website. So there was no forward button before because I was already at the furthest point out. I had not gone back to then go forward, if that makes sense. There was nothing, to go forward to. So now it's there if I want to go back over to NFB of New Hampshire. But now that we understand this bottom row, let's go on to, and we've explored the back button. Let's go to the next thing on the right. Flick to the right once.
Page menu button.
And we have a page menu. Let's see what's in here. There might be some things that you will find beneficial. So I will tap on that or double tap on it if using VoiceOver.
Page menu. Hide distracting items button.
All right. The first thing that pops up in this list is hide distracting items. And you could tap on that or double tap on it with VoiceOver to remove a lot of pop-ups and ads. Certain websites are famous for them, especially for what I've come across are a lot of recipes and things like that. When you get onto cooking websites, they love to have pop-ups and different ads show up. And if I hid distracting items, it may not get rid of absolutely everything, but it will get rid of quite a bit of it to make it a little bit more the experience more pleasurable to navigate the website. So that is what that really means, hide distracting items. That's just what they are. They're very distracting. So let's work our way down this list of options in this menu And to do that, you can either look down with your vision, scroll down, or you're going to flick to the right if you're using VoiceOver with one finger. So here's what's next.
Manage extensions button.
Manage extensions if you want to work with the website with, for example, Speechify, things like that. I'm going to keep going, though, for today.
Search document button.
You can search the document.
Text size 100%.
Text size, that's what I wanted
adjustable.
you to see, this text size. So 100, I'm going to land on it again.
Text size 100% adjustable. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
Okay, so 100% is the standard size. So it doesn't start at 0. The standard size starts at 100. So if I flick down,
85%, 75%.
I'm making the text size smaller. If I flicked up,
85, 100%, 115%,
115.
125%, 150%.
So you can go up in size, but beware if you make it too big, you might not be able to navigate around if it's too large. But let's go back down to 100.
100, 100%.
And I flicked down with one finger to do that. Okay, so that text size is super important. Let's see, flick to the right.
More button.
And there's more.
More button.
But I'm going to go left.
Search manage extension. Hide distracting items. Hide distracting item.
Okay.
Manage extensions button.
What's not showing up here is sometimes you see a reader. And if there's a reader button, you can tap or double tap on that, and it will read the page aloud. Now, not every website has that ability. Okay, it just depends on how it's designed, things like that. And also, I'm in this recording video, so I'm not sure how the feature will play out if it even showed up. But if you wanted to hear a website be read to you, you would go into this menu and you would see if that option is available. If it's there, you would just double tap on it, and then a player comes up with like a rewind, play, pause, and a forward button, and you could do that. Now, once you hit the play button to hear a website to be read to you out loud, it starts reading it out loud, no problem, but it goes back into the website. So the website will be in front of you on the screen. So if you wanted to pause it, and this is especially a point that VoiceOver users, might already know a gesture called the 2-finger double tap, which is the magic tap, and that will pause media and resume media. However, you can't use that with the reader function in this menu to read the page aloud. So what you have to do is you have to go back into the menu, and then you'll see the player, and you can play pause that way. I just wanted to point that out for people who are familiar with that gesture. It does not work in this instance. You have to go back into the menu and the player to double tap on pause. All right, so those are the biggest things. If you see the reader, if you want to get rid of distracting items, and the text size. Those are the most important things in this menu. So let's
search more.
Go back out of
text
this.
Size 100% adjustable.
Right,
Dismiss pop. Screen recording. Double tap to open app.
Oops.
Screen recording. Hide distracting items button. Hide distracting items button.
There we go.
Skip to content. In page links
All right.
navigation. The more you look, the more page menu, advertisement, page menu, advertisement, address, theatlantic.com.
All right.
Text field.
So I'm just on the general page. Let me go down to an article, and maybe when I bring up the reader, that menu will show up. I'll try it out. So we're going to first of all, we can just flick to the right or scroll down with your low vision through the website. And so you could just touch near the top.
Image. Main. Illustration by The Atlantic.
And I'm just going to flick to the right to find an article. So flicking to the right with one finger moves you down line by line into hearing everything on this website. And if you flick to the left, you'd move back up. All right. So, and if you're using your low vision, you're just going to scroll. So I'm going to find an article.
Trump is putting. The more you look,
Let's see.
the more you see. Marie Rose Scheinerman. Link. Marie Rose Scheinerman. Advertisement. Image. Link. Image. Jason Arday's Final Self-Delusion. Heading Level 3. Link.
I guess I'll do that one. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to tap with Vision or double tap with VoiceOver on that article.
Black and white photograph of Jason Arday. Image. Heading Level 2. The Atlantic. Open main menu. Subscribe. Link. Graham Wood. Link. A black and white photograph of Jason Arday. Image.
Okay. I'll try one more time and we'll see if the reader will show up for this.
Share. Pop up back button.
So I'm on the back button, and then I'm going to, at the very bottom left, I'm going to flick right.
Page menu button.
And there's the page menu. So I'm going to double tap on that.
Page menu. Hide distracting items button.
All right. And let's flick to the right.
Listen to page button.
Ah, there it is. Listen to page. Perfect. I'm glad that we get to demo this. So listen to page. So I'm going to double tap to start it, and we'll have to listen to it a little bit. And I'm going to then go back to the menu and then get to the play pause. So I'm going to start playing it. Listen to page.
Skip.
Jason Arday's Final Self-Delusion? Elevating a fraud is shameful. Exposing one isn't? Grahamwood, August 18th, 2026, 7 a.m. ET. Elevating a fraud is shameful. Exposing one isn't? In the Henrik Ibsen play The Wild Duck, Dr. Relling dispenses a drug that soothes the most profound.
All right, so you
self-loathing.
notice we're in
Lipslit,
here.
a lifeline,
A black and
form
white
of grandiose
illustration. August
self-delusion
8
that lets
back.
the pathetic
Selected.
figures who take
Page
it believe
menu
that they are
button.
geniuses and
Selected.
noble
Listen to
romantics.
go
the
forward
lifeline,
button.
it turns out,
Pause
is a hell of a
button. Play.
All right, so I tried to do that. I wanted you to hear a little of the article, and then I went to the menu at the bottom, and then I found the pause button to pause this article. So I could hear just, double tap and hear it again, but then I'd have to go back down into the menu and bring up the player if I wanted to pause it again. So we'll leave it at that, but there you have, it's not bad, right? So the other option you have, if a website doesn't offer the listening aspect to read it aloud, is you could take two fingers and slide down if you have that, set up in your settings. So again, you'd have to go into settings and go into your menus for accessibility to set that up so you could swipe down with two fingers and hear the whole page that way. And there are tutorials on here on getting started with your iPhone and VoiceOver, and this is covered in an earlier tutorial to check back in the playlist. All right, so that's great features. Get rid of distracting items, listen to the page being read aloud, and also working with the text size. Those are great things to have in this menu. So I'm going to get out of here now.
Go forward button.
And I'm
Hide distracting
going
items
to...
button.
I did a two-finger
Content.
scrub
In
gesture
page
to get
link
out of
side
there.
Navigation.
I did a two-finger scrub gesture to get out of there. Sorry, I talked over the thing. That was the best way to move back into this website. All right, so now we know how to work that menu, to go back, to go forward, to change the web address quite easily. Now let's talk about navigating, but let's check out a different website for that.
Share. Pop up back.
Let's
button.
go back.
Back. Skip to content. In page link side navigation. Landmark.
All right, I went back in that lower left corner,
Address.
and
theatlantic.com.
I'm going to go back again,
Back. Button.
another layer,
back, dimmed, web page loaded, logo, link, image, address, futureinsight.org, text field.
And that's
group
where I want to
meeting.
be. So we're going to practice on the futureinsight.org website. So this is a great site to have. So this is where you can find out a lot about the things we offer, our services, our different activities and workshops online. So it's great to be a little familiar with our website. But there are some great navigation options in here. Let's start near the top left.
Silver Retreat, a 5-day
Going to go up
immersive
to the top.
immersive program for individuals. Page 3 of 20, page 2 of page 1 of 20.
If you have to go by chunks of pages, you do have a couple of options. You can scroll up with your low vision. You can take 3 fingers with Voiceover and swipe down. And then you also, on the right column of the side of the phone,
Vertical scroll bar.
you have a
20.
vertical scroll bar that you can flick up or down with one finger. So we were trying to get to the top of the page. Sometimes you can also touch the status bar in the top, which is where the battery level and your Wi-Fi connection is. And if you touch that and then go and touch anywhere in the the rest of the screen, the body of the screen, and double tap, this is with VoiceOver, then you can quickly jump to the top of a page. This works for websites or if you're in a Word document, an email, etc. Now, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works a fairly decent amount of the time, maybe 80%.
Providing a decorative
All right.
logo, accessibility menu.
There we go.
Pop-up button.
I wanted to get to the
Dialog pop-up.
beginning. Now, this website,
Double tap to activate the-
Future Insight, has a menu at the top and accessibility options where not every website has that. Certain ones do, some don't. This is all dependent on how the web designers create the site. But in here, we do have an accessibility options menu. If you tapped on that, you could also increase text size, reverse the polarity, things like that. But you don't always find that. So we're going to flick to the right.
Logo, link, image.
All right, and there's a logo link image.
Mobile navigation button.
Okay, I'm flicking to the right, or you could scroll down. Now, my recommendation for new websites, if you're not familiar with them, is to do a little, spend a little time flicking to the right with one finger to see if there's a formula of how the website is set up. And what I mean by that, I'm going to flick to the right a little bit more.
Decorative logo, providing essential services, children, adults and elderly.
I'm going to flick to the right again.
A young boy wearing sunglasses smiles.
These are some pictures.
A senior woman watercolor paints by lamplight. A man uses a white cane to navigate an outdoor walkway. A young woman posing for a photo. Image. Our services. Heading level 2.
Okay. Our services, heading level 2. Headings are like signs, if you think of them as signs in a department store. For example, Walmart. So a heading level 1 might be the big, welcome to Walmart, the Walmart sign out front. Or a heading level 1, if we use that analogy for Future Insight, that might be just the name of the website, Future Insight. Okay, it could be listed as a heading level 1. But a heading level 2, as this is, I'll land on it again.
Our services. Heading level 2.
All right. A heading level 2 would be some of the departments inside the store, right? Like when you go into Walmart, you might have women's apparel, men's apparel, shoes, games, toys, whatever. So sometimes that could be a heading level 2. In this case, it's designed as our services. So that's a big heading. Even though it's a level 2, it's almost being treated like a level 1. So if you flick to the right again.
For adults, heading level 3.
So heading level 3 would be even smaller of a subset than the 2s, right? So if we use our Walmart analogy, heading level 3, if you're in the toy department, you might have, toys for toddlers, stuffed animals, you know, board games, you know, would be even those subcategories inside the toy department. So let's see if we can find a formula of how this website's designed. We have heading level 3.
22 are licensed and certified. 22 elderly.
Hold on.
Heading for adults. Heading level 3 are services.
Okay, I wanted to start back up there again. So if you flick to the right, the next thing is a heading level 3.
For adults. Heading level 3.
All right, so we have for adults. Those are some services for adults. If I flick to the right.
22 elderly. Heading level 3.
Okay, that says the age it's for. I'm going to flick to the right again.
Our licensed and certified low vision professionals tailor a care plan to the goals of each client. Adult services. Link.
All right, then we had a little description, and then we had a link. All right, so we had the name of the service, the age, a description, and then a link. If I flick to the right again.
For youth. Heading level 3.
Okay, there's for youth, the youth services. And if I flick to the right.
Birth 24. Heading level 3.
There's the age.
Our licensed and certified low vision professionals work with your child in the home and at school.
And there's the description.
Youth services. Link.
And there's the link. Okay, there is a little bit of a formula. You notice the service, the age, the descriptor, and a link. So now we know they used headings and links on this website. We don't have to keep flicking to the right. We know there's headings and links. And if you are using your low vision, you're going to be scrolling, right? You're going to be using those low vision tools. There's a tutorial, you know, on digging into your settings on the playlist for both low vision and voiceover users. So going into the settings, and you're going to be using those settings, right? Whether you chose increased font, bold text, all that, and the menu in here where you could change the text size that we just covered. And you're going to be scrolling a lot, all right? But if you're using VoiceOver, you're going to be using the rotor. And the rotor gesture is also covered in the playlist, but it is a touch, twist, lift gesture. You're going to take your thumb and your index finger. You can really use any two fingers, but I like the thumb and the index finger. I leave some space between them, and I touch the screen, twist on the screen, and then I lift my fingers off it. So touch, twist, lift. And every time I do that, I'm going to be given a different option, such as characters, words, lines, headings, links, buttons, whatever I put into the rotor. And by that, I mean you can determine what you want for shortcuts in this rotor shortcut. All right, so that is in settings in VoiceOver and in your rotor. And we do cover that in the playlist as well. You'll see tutorials on the rotor. So I'm going to touch, twist, lift to headings. Let's go ahead and do that.
Words. Lines. Text selection. Speaking rate. Audio ducking. Containers. Headings.
There we go, headings. And by the way, you can twist either direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. It cycles around and just keeps going like a wheel. So I'm on headings, and now when you're in the rotor, you don't have to double tap when you hear what you want. You land on headings. Okay, great. That's what I'm glad I'm here. Now, instead of flicking right or left, we flick down to move to any next instances of a heading on this website. And we would flick up with one finger to move to any previous instances of a heading on this website. So I'm going to flick down.
Silver retreats. Heading level 3.
Okay. There's silver retreats. I'll flick down again.
Group meetings. Activities and workshops. Heading level 3.
Group meetings. Let's flick down again.
Rides to vital appointments and essential errands. Heading level 3.
So you notice I'm skipping the sections underneath the headings. Remember the descriptor and the links. I'm just hearing what headings there are. So I can determine, all right, what kind of services do they have here? I flick down.
Accessible phones for individuals with disabilities.
Right?
Heading.
So that's what I can do. If I flick up, I'm going to go to previous instances of headings.
Rides to vital appointments and essential errands. Heading level 3.
Okay, maybe I want to know, what's the information underneath this? Is there still some information and then a link? Well, I revert back to flicking to the right, my standard going down line by line. Flick to the right with one finger to hear that. So I will do that now.
We may be able to find you a volunteer driver, open to residents of NH that have received direct services from us within the past 12 months. Volunteer rides, link.
All right, so there, it followed the formula, right? I flicked to the right, I heard the descriptor. I flicked to the right again, I heard the link. So headings in the rotor are very helpful to do some quicker navigation. Another option in the rotor is the links. So let's touch, twist, and lift to links.
Links.
And that happens to be the next one. I only had to do it once. It was right next to headings. So now when I flick down, I'll see the next instance of a link on this website. If I flick up, I'll see a previous instance. So only links. I will flick up a little bit.
Activities calendar, visited, link.
There's the activities calendar to sign up for future activities and workshops that are remote online. So I hope you check that out. We'll flick up again.
Silver retreats, link.
Silver retreats, link. Right, let's flick up again.
Youth services, link. Adult services.
All right, so there's all those links. If I wanted to go to adult services, I would double tap and that page would open up. All right, what other ways can we navigate? Well, on a website, I'm going to turn the rotor again, touch, twist, lift.
Form controls, 14 form controls.
I'm going to go to buttons first.
Tables, 0 buttons, 10
Oh,
buttons.
did you notice?
Tables, 0 tables.
0 tables. So if there were a table on here, it would say, 1 table, 2 tables, how many there are. I put tables in my rotor, but it says there are none here. And I'm going to touch, twist, lift again one more time.
Buttons.
And there's the
10
buttons.
Table buttons. 10 buttons.
It says there's 10 buttons. What I want to mention, though, is sometimes the number of buttons or the number of tables or form fields or headings or links that they give you are most of the time accurate, but not always accurate. I'm just saying. So if something says there, if it says there's no buttons, still try flick up or down and just make sure. You would hear the little bong noise, and there'd be no buttons. So just don't always trust the numbers, but go by the fact, there's buttons here. So I'm on the buttons on the menu. Now when I flick down,
play video button.
I heard play video button. Well, okay. Play a video about what? It's just a button, right? You don't want to play it without knowing what it is. You might, not have any interest in it. So we can revert to our line-by-line navigation gesture with VoiceOver and either flick left to move above the button or flick to the right to see what's below the button. I'm going to flick left because sometimes the button is below, there's a description and then the button. So I'm going to flick left to move above the button.
There are many ways to give to Future Insight and show support for the blind and visually impaired community in New Hampshire. This video walks through each of them so you can find the best way for you to contribute.
Okay, so now I know this button is about donations, right? And how to contribute and give. So that makes sense. Now, I am not on a button at the moment. I'm on the descriptor, right, about donations and, giving. I can still, the rotor remembers where you last left off, so I can just flick down to the next button.
Play video button. Hide player controls button. Thumbnail image button. Share button.
Okay, share button. Share what, right? You might be like, share what? So we would flick to the left.
Future Insight 694 subscribers. Thumbnail image but Future Insight share.
So
button.
the only thing we got there was it's about sharing probably the website. All right, and then you could share it with any method that pops up, whether it's, messages, mail, Instagram, Facebook, whatever methods that show up for the share aspect. All right, so that's pretty much the idea of buttons. If I flick up, I'll go to previous instance of buttons. I'll do that for a second.
Thumbnail image. Hide player control. Play video. Button. Mobile navigation button. Accessibility menu. Pop-up button. Dialog
There's that
pop-up.
accessibility menu at the very top. All right, so let's turn. I'm going to go back down a second.
Mobile play video.
There we go. Okay. So I'm going to turn this now to form fields.
Edit. Characters. Words.
So I'm doing the touch, twist, lift gesture.
Lines. Text selection. Speaking rate. Audio ducking. Containers. Headings. Links. Form controls.
Form
16
controls.
form
There we
controls.
go. Form controls, which, bring up those fields that you fill out for forms. So if I flick down, I will be brought to whatever a field might be that is available to fill out. I'm going to flick down with one finger.
Hide player controls. Button.
All right.
Thumbnail image. Button.
I'm still on buttons for some reason.
Share. Button.
Okay, I will twist the rotor
Tables.
and go back.
Zero tape. Form controls.
To form
16
controls.
Form controls.
Now let's try it.
First. Text field.
There we go.
Required.
So it says
Double tap to
first.
edit.
If I flick down again,
Last. Text
last.
field. Required.
Well, okay, what is this for? What is this all about? I'm going to go back up to first.
First. Text field.
And I'm going
Required.
to flick left to see what am I filling out here? Why is it asking for first name, last name? I'll flick to the left
Star.
and left again.
Name. Form start. Indicates required fields.
Okay, left again.
Star. Quotation mark. Sign up for our monthly newsletter. Heading level 5 content information. Landmark.
There we go. Sign up for our monthly newsletter. So that's why it was asking for those fields. So you could easily flick down
First. Text field.
and double
Required.
tap, and then you would be able to
Double
dictate
tap
or
to
type
edit.
your first name. And then you could just flick down again
Last. Text field.
with one
Required.
finger to last name. Double tap on that because each field has to be associated, the keyboard with that piece of information. So last name, you double tap, then you dictate or type your last name. Flick down with one finger again,
Email star. Text field. Required.
and then you can double tap on that, type in or dictate your email, and then, and so on until you get to submit.
Submit.
There you go. And you would just double tap on that. Okay, and then you're signed up for the newsletter. Well, so you get the idea of headings, links, buttons, form fields. And so we also have that quick, access instead of just always flicking right on a website, right or left. That you can use that rotor and use these shortcuts to navigate. So I think we'll stop there. We've covered quite a bit. We've learned how to bring up a website, how to change the website, how to go back and forward, how to use the menu to take advantage of the removal of hide distracting items, to have a page read to us, to work with increasing or decreasing the text size, and then working with all these rotor gestures on how to do some quick navigation on websites and web pages. So do explore, check out some websites, try to maneuver back and forth between a website or a web page. Click on some links, find some headings, and have fun with it. Pick a website that you're not familiar with and see if you can become familiar with it. And I thank you for joining this tutorial, and I look forward to the next time.